Hi friends. Yeah, today I came up with new series .NET 8 features. Okay, so we know .NET will go release in November 2023. Okay, it will be supported for 3 years, long-term support, and Visual Studio version. If you want to test the .NET 8 features before releasing, so we should install 17.7.0 preview 6.0. Currently, this is the latest version for testing these .NET 8 features, and you need to install the .NET 8.0 SDK and runtime. Okay, so I will provide the URLs in the description for if you want to download these softwares. Okay, this screen is not required. I will explain here that screen also. Okay, friends, this is the .NET release cadency. That means if you see .NET 5 and below, all the versions are not supporting. That means Microsoft will not give the support for .NET 5 and below versions. So it will support only from .NET 6 and .NET 7. And if you see .NET 6 will be end the support November 2024. Okay, because .NET 6 will support up to 3 years, and .NET 7, you see, .NET 7 will end the support May 2024. That means .NET 6 and .NET 7 will completely end in the next year. The support will end in the next year, and .NET 8 will release in the November 2023. So it is a 8, right? That means it is a even number. Even number always will support 3 years. That is the pattern they are following. If it is a odd number, that will support only 1.5 year, 18 months. Okay. So next November 2024, they plan .NET 9. This is the roadmap of the .NET releases from the Microsoft team. Okay. Now we will see what are the features. So these are the features the Microsoft team mentioned in the documentation. They come up with the enhancements. Okay. So friends, it is not possible to explain all the features in one video. Even in the two videos also, it is not possible if you explain in detail way. Okay, I want to explain in detail what are the topics if I selected to explain in the .NET features. Okay, today I'm only explaining serialization. Okay, so we will see next videos. I will come up with the 2 3 topics in one video. Okay, so in the serialization, they mentioned I think 5 to 6 points. Majorly 5 points. I added 1 point extra. Okay, so these points we will see, friends, in the practically. Okay, uh, so we'll go our demo. Okay, yeah, friends. Actually, I I tested myself both .NET 7 and .NET 8. This video is completely discussing about serialization. What are the new features in the .NET 8? So for that reason, I written the code in both the .NET 7 and .NET 8. So you see, this is .NET 7 and this is .NET 8. So PRA means preview. Okay, this is wherever PRA is there. That is the preview. This is not released officially. It is only for developers for testing purpose. Okay, the first option, friends, here handling missing members that are not payload during deserialization. Okay, before going to discuss these enhancement, so you have a doubt, for example, what is the serialization? So friends, serialization is the process of converting object to binary and binary format to object. That is the generic definition, right? But here we are talking about completely system.text.json. This is the library Microsoft uh, keeping into our .NET packages. Okay, initially that means before .NET 3.0, we need to install this system.text.json from the NuGet packages. Okay, but now from 3.0 onwards, we don't want to install this library explicitly. Okay, friends, this video completely we are discussing about system.text.json. Okay, this system.text.json will process the JSON objects, JavaScript object notation, in which include to serialize the object to JSON text and deserialize the JSON text to object with built-in support of UTF-8. Okay, and it also support to read and write the JSON objects, and also it will make the document object model in memory. Okay, because we need to access the randomly, right? For that random access support, it required the document object model. Okay, this is the overview of the system.txt.json. Okay, now you have idea, right? What is the serialization, right? Fine. Okay, so now what is the first enhancement they come up with the .NET 8? Okay, the first thing is handling missing members that are not the payload during the serialization. That means when we are doing the deserialization, okay, if the members are not existing, okay, if you want to throw an exception, if you want currently how it is behaving, okay, so this is .NET 7 friends in the left side. Okay, I take an employee class. I take an employee class. There are three properties: ID, name, and gender. Okay, so here I'm passing ID name. I'm not passing gender, but I'm passing a additional property mobile. This is not part of the employee. Okay. Now what happened in current implementation? We know it should work as expected. That means it will ignore. It simply ignore if that is not a property of employee object, right? See, it is working as expected. Simply. Okay. I'm just printing name, so it is printing name. Okay, fine. But here what they come up with, if you see employee class, this is the attribute they are introducing. JSON unmapped member handling. JSON unmapped member handling. There are three flags. Sorry, two flags. One is disallow, and another one is skip. I'm putting disallow. I'm running in the .NET. Now I'm running .NET 8. We'll see what happened. See, we got the exception. So I'm passing same data, friends. So I'm getting the exception here. Okay, see, we got the exception. The JSON property mobile, we are passing mobile, right? Mobile could not be mapped to any .NET member contained in type serialization demo employee. Employee class doesn't have the mobile property. That is, it is telling. So it is throwing an exception. So if you want to see the data, you see I'm passing ID, name, and mobile. Okay, mobile is not part of the employee class. So if you don't want to raise the exception, it will work like older version. You just use the skip. Okay, just use the skip and run. It will work as expected. It will not throw any exception. Fine. Yeah, this is the first feature, friends. In some cases, it might be helpful, right? Yeah. And second one is interface hierarchies. So interface hierarchies. So currently, how it is supporting, I taken derived implement class. So derived implement class is derived from the iDerived. iDerived is implemented from the iBase class. It is having one property. So those two properties we are including the our class implemented class. Okay, base and derived. So I'm initializing base is 0, derived is 1. So what is the expected output here? We are serializing now. What we are doing? We are doing serializing the value, this value. So we know, right, while serializing, what we need to do, we take the values of the properties, we take the values of the properties and assigning into the JSON text, right? So, the value should have base and derived, right? But you see what is the output it will be give. Hmm, printing. See, it is having only derived, it is having only derived. That means it is not supporting for the interface hierarchies. What it is having, what is it is immediate parent is I derived. That is only it is taking. But I derived is derived from the I base. This is not considering. That is the problem in the current versions up to .NET 7. If you see in the .NET 8, so same code, friends. I'm not changing anything. Both are same. Okay, same derived from the I base class. Fine. I'm running now .NET application. See here, it's taking both derived one, base 0. It is taking both the properties. That is that is one of the improvement or enhancement in the .NET 8. It is supporting interface hierarchies. Okay, and next thing is naming policies. So naming policies. So here what they come up with new things. One is snake case, another one is kebab case. Two things they introduced here. So I will run and show you what currently I am trying to serialize. Key is property name, value is value. Because this is the object I am trying to uh, serialize. Okay, I'm trying to serialize this one. So it is kebab case upper. Okay, I'm just changing to snake case lower. Okay, so how it will be snake case nothing but a you see I written already. It is underscore. Okay, it will give the output like this. It's just output uh, purpose is naming policy. See property name value under property underscore name value. So what exactly it is there? It is just property name. Okay, it is a uh, Pascal case, but it is printing property underscore name. Okay, so and another option is kebab. Kebab case upper. I put kebab case upper. This is kebab case nothing but a hyphen function f5. See property underscore name. These are the two additional options they are providing in the naming policies. If you see in the .NET 7, there is no that type of options. You try here, there is no that type of options. Only camel case is available. That is the one enhancement into the serialization. Okay. Next one is read-only properties. So this is one of the very good feature actually. So what they are trying to provide here. So, friends, it is deserialization again. So, deserialization means what we want while deserialization. While deserialization, we require constructor and property setters and fields, right? That means we are taking the data from JSON and we are setting into the object. So, in that process, we should set the values to the class object, right? Class properties or object properties, right? So, that means it should have some metadata. I will come up with that point. Okay, so but it is a read-only properties. Read-only properties, if you see customer info, we need to set the data means it should be allow, right? But it is set, it is read-only properties. You see there is no set option here. There is no set option here. That means we can't able to set the data, right? So this that is the reason up to .NET 7 it will not work. Okay, so by default values are anonymous for the comes customer info having a name and company info, name having anonymous and company info having the name not available, phone number not available, NA. Okay, so what we are doing in the programmatically we are assigning name is John Dio and company name is Qantas, phone number we are not assigning. Okay, what it will be happen, it will take the default values. See, name is anonymous, company name not NANA. That means it is not possible to set the read-only properties while deserialization process. Clear? Okay, so that is there trying to enhance into the .NET 8. Okay, same we are doing actually here, the same classes we are deserializing and we are passing the values while deserialization. We will see what happened here. See, name is still anonymous, but company information it is set to whatever data we are passing. But the company is claiming it will support, it should assign that means it should assign the data for the read-only properties while deserialization time. That is the company is claiming in the documentation. But what I found, it is not working. Okay, if it is read-only property, but see, but company is working. Why company is working, what I understand here, company info here you see set properties are there. Might be this is the reason it is working, but this is still not working. But they claimed it should work. Okay, this is, I don't know if this is a bug or not, we will see later. But you go and see in the documentation, they claimed it should work, but it's not working. Fine. Okay friends, now the next topic is, this is read only properties, and next topic is a source generation. So friends, this is a source generation. If you are not aware source generation, I will give a glimpse here. So the serialization on the system.txt.json, it will Generally, serialization how work serialization deserialization work based on the metadata. Okay, metadata is nothing but already I explained, right? um, the properties and property setters, getters, and fields, okay, and constructor. It should be accessible, right? If it is a private, we cannot access, right? That means while serialization how it is fetching the data from object and keeping into the JSON text, and deserialization how it is mapping the JSON text data into the object if it is a private mode, if it is a private accessor. Okay, so for that it requires metadata. Metadata is nothing but this information, fields information, property setters and getters and constructor. That information is required for the system.text.json library. Okay, how we'll gather the metadata? So we'll gather the metadata in two ways. One is reflection, another one is source generation. Okay, here reflection is the default one. Okay, and source generation they are introduced in the .NET 6 alternative for the reflection. So source generation have more advantages than the reflection. So it will reduce the private memory usage, it reduce the app's application size, it improve the performance, it improve the performance at the starting time application initialization. So many advantages are there in the source generation. But source generation only disadvantage is it will not support accessing private data members. It will not support accessing private members of the type. Okay, that is the only disadvantage. So in the source generation they come up with one new feature. Okay, so that is type info resolver chain. So friend, this is not a big feature, but what it is give, actually type info resolver is existing for now, but they come up with this one. This is not alternative, it is a complement to the type info resolver. Okay, in type info resolver, using type info resolver we can add the um, types here, our classes. Okay, so I added two classes, source generation context, another one is context 2. If you go and see what is there here, okay, I will show you. Okay, it is why it is going here, because it is source generation, right? It is generated the generation code, okay, at the compilation time. That is a big topic again. um, See, I'm creating two classes, weather forecast complete, that is source generation context 2. Okay, and another one is source generation context, that is weather forecast. So these two I'm adding here. So what is the advantage of this type info resolver chain? You can remove uh, the types from the type info resolver. Okay, that is the advantages of this one, and you can identify the count, how many uh, how many types are existing in that type info resolver. Those things will be able to uh, identify here with the help of the type info resolver chain. Okay, yeah, another another feature is disable reflection based default. Yeah friends, we already discussed reflection and source generation. Okay, by default is a reflection mode. Okay, so if you using source generation, so already we saw how to use source generation. This is the way you need to specify the source generation attribute here. Okay, so when you are specifying source generation attribute, it will generate the uh, s- optimized code at the compilation time. Okay, so but that will improve the performance. We have discussed already to improve the performance, right? So source generation, but source generation will not support all the customization of JSON serializer. Okay, if in some place if it is not supporting the specific feature, that time what happens, JSON serializer will fall back into default mode. What is default mode? Reflection mode. Okay, if you want to stop fall backing into the reflection based default, okay, so they come up with this feature. So what they're telling, you need to pass the JSON serializer options. Okay, in the JSON serializer options you need to specify default JSON type info resolver. Okay, if you specify this one, that means whenever that situation came, it automatically JSON serializer fall back into default mode, reflection based mode. Okay, otherwise, okay, if you don't want to fall back into default mode, then you can you don't want to create this property in the JSON serializer options. Yeah, so that's all it, friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will come up with the other features in the next video in this series. Thank you, friends. Have a nice day. Please like and subscribe and share.